There are policemen out there who aren't really trying to protect and serve. Fortunately for us, as the saying goes, what's done in the dark will be brought to the light.
Do not touch me.
Do not go on the crime scene.
And I'm doing my job. Do not touch me.
You're not doing your job.
And in today's compilation of clips, things are going to go pear-shaped for these shady figures when corrupt cops meet the wrong person.
The windows were really dark. I don't have a tint measure, but that's another reason for the stop.
Aramis Ayala in Orlando, Florida. Back in 2017, this driver was pulled over by a traffic stop. However, the woman behind the wheel plays it cool and reveals that she is a pretty powerful figure in the world of law.
What agency are you with?
I'm the state attorney.
Same thing. All right. Thank you. Your tag didn't come back. Never seen that before. I'm sorry? Yeah. We're good now.
So it was...
We ran the tag. I've never seen it before. A Florida tag. It's never come back to anything before. So that's the reason for the stop.
That explains why Aramis Ayala was pulled over. But this officer couldn't have picked a worse candidate than a state attorney. The time of the video's upload, some social users alleged that it was a racially motivated stop, but Orlando police have made it clear that it was lawful.
What was the tag run for?
I'm sorry?
What was the tag run for?
Oh, we run tags all the time, whether it's at traffic lights and that sort of stuff. That's how we figure out if, cars are stolen and that sort of thing. Also, the windows were really dark. I don't have a tint measure, but that's another reason for the stop.
Ayala was driving a state-issued vehicle when she was pulled over after leaving Florida A&M University College of Law, when she was issued a traffic stop. The thing is that license plates on vehicles that are issued by the state are actually confidential. The police department stated that the vehicle's license plate would not be registered if it was issued to a vehicle that fell into this category.
Do you guys have cards on here?
Yeah, 1 second. Actually, this isn't my car, but I can write my name down if you'd like.
Yeah, he put my name.
No citations were made, and Ayala was not ticketed for the stop. While the officer was asked for his details,
There you are. Have a good day.
no complaints were filed. While social media was abuzz with claims that the titular state attorney filed a lawsuit, she went on record to say that was not the case at all. Just cops doing their job, or an uncalled for stop gone wrong. You be the judge of this one, folks.
Do not go on the crime scene.
And I'm doing my job. Do not touch me.
You're not doing your job.
Do not
You
touch
can do your
me.
job from right there.
Do not touch me.
Martisa Lee. Working in a subway mustn't be an easy job. Certainly not if you're Chicago Transit Authority Supervisor Martisa Lee. In Chicago, Illinois, an incident took place in 2020 where Lee accused Chicago police officer Raymond Herron of pushing her while she was using her radio and on the platform. This was to get her away from a crime scene.
Watch out, ma'am, come out here.
I'm talking. I gotta say.
Oh yeah, you need to get out of the crime scene, ma'am. Please get out of the crime scene. That's what I'm telling you.
And you're touching me now.
Because you're in the crime scene and I'm
Do
asking
not
you to
touch
stay
me.
here. Do not go in the crime scene.
And I'm doing my job. Do not touch me.
You're not doing your job.
Do not
You can do
touch
your
me.
job from right there.
Do not touch me.
You can do your job
Don't
from right
touch
there.
me again.
Don't go through the crime scene
Don't
again.
touch me
Then don't go
again.
through the crime scene again.
Don't touch me again.
Then don't go through the crime scene
Don't
again. It's
touch
very
me
simple.
again. It's very
We could go back and forth all day.
Yeah, don't touch me.
After a bit of back and forth bickering between the two, Lee speaks to another officer to make a complaint about Officer Herron.
Him right there.
Do you want me to ask him why?
I want something to be done.
Well, if he tells me that you are obstructing the crime scene, we're going to arrest you.
Well, that certainly backfired. An attempt at informing another officer went horribly wrong when they responded by saying that she herself would get arrested instead. Officer Herron returns and joins the conversation to give his side of the story.
Because she was walking through the crime scene and she was to get out of the crime scene. And I took her from behind and I guided her outside the crime scene. I did not push everything on camera.
You're absolutely
You're
right.
absolutely
Perfect.
right.
That's perfect.
Was she obstructing the crime scene?
Yes. I told her it's all on my body camera. I told her she had to get out of the crime scene. She kept walking. I told her she had to get out of the crime scene.
Did she continue in our crime scene?
Walking
Yes.
away from the crime scene. He pushed
Did she
me. I guess
continue
I
in our
wasn't
crime
walking
scene?
fast enough for him.
Eventually, the arguing comes to an end when the other officer decides that this would be enough of an excuse to arrest her.
We can look at my body camera.
We sure can.
Okay, arrest her. Put your hands behind your back.
Because he said I'm walking in the crime scene. I can put my radio back on myself and you snatching stuff. That is so.
Whether or not you believe that she was actually pushed or just gently guided out of the crime scene, to have her handcuffed definitely seems like quite an overreaction. A co-worker and possible friend of Lee's joins the conversation and tries to be more rational and calm in a conversation between Lee and another officer.
So why are we arresting her?
He said I was obstructing the crime scene.
Okay, let me ask you.
She was walking through the crime scene. I followed her. I said, "You have to get out of the crime scene, ma'am. You got to get out of the crime scene." She's talking on her phone. So you got to get out of the crime scene. I took her arms like this from behind it, and I guided her outside the crime scene. She turned around and spun at me and said, "Don't put your hands on me. I'm doing my job." I said, "You do your job out here?" She said, "Don't you ever put your hands on me?" I said, "You're in the crime scene."
And I tried to explain even I was entering it without knowledge, and he grabbed me to move me out of it. Because I didn't realize how big it was, but she's just not trying to hear that. She feels like we can't move her out of the crime scene, but we had to.
You
because
can
she
move
wouldn't
me, you can't push
listen
me.
to direction. Yes, he can. What part of that don't you understand?
So it's a misunderstanding.
It's really not. But
You know,
okay.
she was being followed. I'm following instructions from the control
It
center.
was over for me until she stood.
Yeah, when you do is done pushing me,
See, she's never.
Vanessa.
So we can take care of this another way. Come on.
Thankfully, the cop in the black cap thinks that it was more than likely just a misunderstanding. Lee was on the platform in handcuffs for 8 minutes before she is let go with no charges made.
It sounds like that it was a misunderstanding. It's possible.
We can go with that.
That she didn't hear, and that's why he had to move her out of it, right? She wasn't being disobedient.
Except that she held the phone and said, "No, I'm doing my job." But
So
if you want me to
maybe
get your handcuffs off, I
Maybe
will.
she didn't hear the first part of it.
Okay.
She didn't enter in after you moved her out of it, right?
Oh, then she became more argumentative.
But you pushed me.
Again, everything's on my body camera, so.
All right, let's. It sounds like a misunderstanding.
Good on the coworker for helping everyone calm down, and for the sergeant for realizing it was not worth putting her in cuffs because she was upset about the whole ordeal. However, Lee decided to sue the city of Chicago and file a federal lawsuit against the two other officers, whereby she alleged that she was a victim of a false arrest and that her First Amendment right to free speech was violated.
One phone call from your dad would probably get rid of it and save all of us a lot of heartache.
Sam Lundberg. Get ready for some serious poetic justice, folks, as this pullover comes back around like a boomerang and bites the corrupt officer where the sun doesn't shine. In Bristol, Tennessee, back in December 2019, former officer Phil Kiersnowski performed a traffic stop to get this driver, Sam Lundberg, to pull over. Naturally, she does exactly that.
Sam? No. You know how dark your window tint is?
Oh, Officer McDaniel checked it last week. I swear to you, he pulled me over for it. You can check it, though. But yeah, he pulled me over last
It's
week for it.
dark as hell.
Yeah, he pulled me over last week for it. But he checked it and said it was fine.
I don't think it is.
So Lundberg has been pulled over for her tinted windows. The interesting twist is that the cop knows this young woman, who is the daughter of Senator John Lundberg. At one point in the conversation, after calling for backup, he tried muting the microphone on his body camera while they were chatting. Mighty suspicious indeed. Unlucky for him. What he said could be heard very faintly.
Well, we all know your window tint's real dark, and I don't believe that's. But yeah,
So you all are targeting me?
no.
You just said it.
No, I didn't. If it's dark, if it's over the legal limit, I'm going to give you a citation. However, that's just because the admin's on our ass over window tint.
Oh, really?
One phone call from your dad would probably get rid of it and save all of us a lot of heartache.
Still, Kierzynowski measures the tint of the window nonetheless.
What's the legal limit on the meter?
It's supposed to be 35. I usually do 30. What is it?
12.
And she is 88%.
Illegal?
65.
Did you notice how we described Kierzynowski as a former officer earlier? Yes, he was fired after encouraging Lundberg to call her father to get help from the department's aggressive stance on tinted windows. It turns out that Senator Lundberg was indeed listening in to the conversation going on during the traffic stop, though he couldn't hear the whispering that took place. Nonetheless, it just goes to show how even some corrupt cops will encourage people with connections to find shortcuts out of consequence.
They have nothing and we find stuff.
I'd rather not search me.
Okay.
Attorney car search. Now for another example of blatant injustice in Orlando, Florida. In 2018, an Orlando attorney was pulled over via traffic stop.
Okay. The reason I pulled you, you can't have white light emitting back.
What do you mean?
Your tag lights, they're supposed to illuminate your tag. Those two white lights, all they're doing is shooting straight back. You can't have any white light limiting them back. So then that also doesn't illuminate your tag. And on top of that, you got a border around your tag that blocks the county that you live in. You can't have that on your tag.
So at first, it seems like a fair enough reason to pull someone over, though no doubt a small one. Nothing that requires anything grand in response. However, that doesn't stop this officer asking to search the vehicle.
Okay. Are you concealed weapons holder? Any weapons in the vehicle I need to be aware of? Nope, nothing illegal in the car. All right, so after I'm done, if I ask to search the vehicle to verify what you're saying is true, you don't mind?
I do mind, but only because I'm a lawyer.
Your guess is as good as ours as to why the officer suddenly decided to ask for permission to search the vehicle for weapons or anything else that could be illegal when the attorney was pulled over for issues with white lights emitting from the back of his car. Thankfully, he stood his ground, but remained respectful to the officer.
Okay. So you know what consented, that's what I'm asking?
Yeah.
So you have nothing in the vehicle?
I have absolutely nothing in the vehicle.
Okay. And you don't mind confirming that by allowing us to look and make sure there's nothing in the vehicle? As you can imagine, we hear no all the time as they have nothing and we find stuff.
I'd rather not search my car.
Okay. Cool. Just hang tight, brother, okay?
Thankfully for the lawyer here, no charges were made. Some online commenters have argued that this is a pretext stop, whereby an officer pulled someone over for a minor traffic violation.
So one, you got to get that fixed, those white lights in the back. Okay? If you keep getting pulled like that, you're going to get tickets nonstop.
I'll get it.
You understand that? That border? Take that border off. Understand that?
When I get home.
When the police officer's true purpose is to search a vehicle for evidence of a bigger, more serious crime that is irrelevant and unrelated to the initial one.
You're obstructing my
Officer
traffic
safety
stop.
is not a law.
So, I want you to pull the front of him
Officer
so that
safety
you're
is
not
not a law.
behind me.
Trooper Boyer, ever been pulled over for something so minor that you wonder why a cop even bothered in the first place? That's what happened to this poor driver and his friend, who were driving in separate vehicles along northern Nevada's Route 93 in 2021.
Well, I'm with him. We're together. Just do your job. I'm with him. What? I'm good right here.
So, the coworker parked in front of Trooper Boyer, and when the coworker was pulled over via traffic stop, he did the same right behind the officer.
But you're pulling him over, right?
You and him both.
You just told me you were pulling him over, so.
Yeah, well, he was going 87, you were going 85.
No,
Since you
I
don't
got my
wanna do what
cruise
I
on.
tell you to.
I got my cruise
give me
on.
your driver's license and your registration and insurance.
Because he hasn't parked himself in front of the trooper, despite not being the one being stopped in the first place. Now the camera driver here is getting a ticket, supposedly for speeding.
That's the way it is.
Do you have a printout of that?
Now,
Or a
when I make
picture
a
of that to
traffic
prove that?
stop, if you don't do as I say by pointing to the front of him,
As you
by
say,
being behind
is that
me,
lawful?
I'm trying to make
Is that
sure
a
I have.
lawful order?
Yeah, it is, because
How's
it's
that?
officer safety. You're obstructing my
Officer
traffic
safety
stop.
is not a law.
So, I want you to pull the front
Officer
of him so that
safety
you're
is not a law.
behind me.
Quote me the
So
code
that I
for
can
that.
make sure that
Can you quote me the law for that? The code?
I'm not going to pull you the law for that.
Then there is no
a
law for
lawful
that.
Order. It is a lawful order.
There's got to be
on
a code
traffic
for it.
Stop.
There has to be a code for it. For officer safety, there is no code.
I don't care.
Just like there's no code for public safety.
Why is it
What's
that
the
you
problem?
won't do what I tell you to?
This guy is having none of it. Keeping his cool, he points out the flaws in Trooper Boyer's argument and calls him out for his shady behavior.
Are you that scared?
Because I pulled your friend over.
No,
That's
you're
why
mad because you gotta be. You think you need to be scared when you're the one with the
I'm not
guns.
scared. That is how we maintain our officer safety. If I do all my traffic stops in every different way possible.
Officer safety is officer cowardice.
Someone better call an ambulance for this ranger, because he's just been dealt one sick burn from this dude. You could cut your fingers on that razor-sharp wit of his. Anyway, after the man in uniform has some friends arrive to back him up, he hands over a citation. All the while, the camera guy asks for Trooper Boyer to verbalize his badge number, which he repeatedly refuses.
I'm gonna give it to you.
It's the law. You're supposed to verbalize it.
I'm gonna give it.
Can
I'm
you
gonna give
verbally
you,
identify
all I have to do
yourself?
is provide it to you. That's
Verbally.
all I have to do.
Verbally.
I'm gonna explain your citation
Someone
to
that
you.
has vision problems.
It's your violation.
Is
Do
the
you have
reason
vision problems?
why. Anybody that has vision problems is the reason why you're supposed to verbally identify.
Do you have
it.
vision problems?
It doesn't matter if I do or not.
Okay.
Even after being handed his citation, this driver was not done calling out the cops for their corrupt behavior. For legal reasons, yes, officers must identify themselves. Though isn't it interesting that the duo here are so hesitant to do so verbally?
You guys just not like following the law? You're out here trying to enforce laws and you're not even going to follow the law yourself? You're not following the law. You're not verbally identifying yourselves. By not doing that, you're not cops. You realize that?
The cameramen did get their badge numbers in the end, and while he was indeed given a citation for speeding, he uploaded the video online via the YouTube account Eyes on Washington to spread awareness.
You want to lock me up? Lock me up.
Nobody wants to lock
me
you up.
I'm not showing y'all anything.
Michael Jennings. This last clip took place in Sylacauga, Alabama in mid-2022. Pastor Michael Jennings of Vision of Abundant Life Ministries was approached by police while he was watering his neighbor's flowers while the homeowners were away. The call was made about the man and a gold SUV in their driveway.
I'm supposed to be here. I'm Pastor Jennings. I live across the street.
You're Pastor Jennings?
Yes, I'm looking out for their house while they gone.
Okay.
Watering their flowers.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Now, do you have like ID and all?
Oh, no, man. I'm not going to give you no ID.
Why not?
I ain't did nothing wrong. And they did
Well,
nothing
you look,
suspicious.
listen, I'm not saying do nothing wrong.
Doc, listen,
There's a suspicious person.
Look, I used to be a police officer in Goodwater. Don't come here with that.
Pastor Jennings here is not willing to share any forms of identification to the officer and continues to water the plants. Another officer arrived, and Jennings was not happy with being confronted.
Told him I'm a pastor. I pastor until I don't want to hear you.
Sir.
You want to lock me up? Lock me up.
Nobody wants to lock you
me.
up.
I'm not showing y'all anything. I'm going to continue to water these flowers.
Call.
I don't care who called y'all.
Eventually, he is indeed handcuffed. Jennings is upset that this is a racially profiled arrest.
Look, man, let me see your phone. Let me see your phone, dude. Just calm down, okay?
No.
Stop.
I like this.
Okay. We're just trying to talk to you and see.
I don't want to argue with you, okay?
All right, go ahead and do what you got to do, Doc.
Do
Do what you got to do. Go on and lock me up.
Look, just have a
It's
You're
already
not
a
locked
lawsuit.
up. You're
It's
just.
already a lawsuit,
Yes,
Doc.
sir. Yes, sir.
It's already
Okay.
a lawsuit. Who called y'all?
We.
I don't have to ID myself.
You will not listen.
I have a call on you. You have to identify yourself to me. You understand what I'm telling you?
No, I don't.
A neighbor testified to the officers in Jennings' defense.
He lives right there.
Okay, does he have permission here to be watering flowers?
He may because they are friends.
Okay.
And they went out of town today, so
Right.
he may be watering their flowers.
Okay.
Be completely normal.
Okay,
That's
is
fine.
that's fine. If he would have said, "Hey, I got this," gave his identification because he's a suspicious person.
Confirming that he was indeed friends with the owners, while his family also spoke to the officers as well. While he was arrested and charged for obstructing government operations, it was dismissed a few days after the incident, as requested by the then police chief. Afterwards, Jennings filed a federal lawsuit against the 3 Alabama police officers and the city of Childersburg Friday, mentioning in his lawsuit that the arrest resulted in a loss of constitutional rights, post-traumatic stress disorder, and emotional distress for the pastor. And there you have it. Corrupt cops flexing their powers with the wrong people. All caught on camera. Have you ever had any sour experiences with crooked policemen or policewomen before? Drop your stories in the comments section, and please consider supporting by dropping a like. For more content from us, be sure to subscribe and check out the videos on screen now. Until next time, thanks for watching, and keep an eye out for any untrustworthy law enforcement out there.